Have you ever felt empty, even when everyone around you seems to be applauding your life? Have you ever poured your heart into someone's approval, only to be left disappointed, rejected, or unheard? My dear brothers and sisters, let me tell you a truth that shakes the foundation of every human soul: your peace, your happiness, your validation. It will never come from someone else, not from friends, not from family, not from social media likes, not even from the people you love most. We live in a world that conditions us to seek affirmation from others, to measure our worth by their acceptance, and yet how many of us truly stop and ask, am I healing my own heart, or am I just waiting for someone to tell me I'm enough? Every tear, every sleepless night, every disappointment, you've experienced it because you placed your emotional well-being in someone else's hands. Imagine a life where you no longer wait for someone's validation, where the storms around you do not shake your inner peace. Imagine waking up every morning, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I am enough, I am worthy, I am healing. That, my dear friends, is the power of self-healing. That is the liberation of the heart. So many of us spend our lives chasing the approval of others, believing that their words, their recognition, or their praise will fill the emptiness inside our hearts. We look outward for validation, thinking that if someone acknowledges us, if someone notices us, if someone tells us we're worthy, then finally we will feel complete. But the truth, my dear brothers and sisters, is that no one can heal your heart except you. True healing begins from within. Think about it. How often have you felt hurt or disappointed because someone didn't treat you the way you hoped? How many nights have you lain awake, replaying conversations in your mind, wishing that someone would understand, wishing that someone would say the words that make you feel whole, and yet, even when those words come, the feeling is fleeting. It fades. Validation from others is temporary. It is fragile and unreliable. People will fail you. People will misunderstand you. People will leave you. But if your heart is whole, if your soul is nurtured, none of that can shake your inner peace. Healing yourself starts with honesty. It starts with looking in the mirror and acknowledging the pain you've been carrying. Acknowledge the wounds, the mistakes, the heartbreaks, the rejections. Acknowledge the ways in which you've relied on others to tell you that you're good enough, that you're worthy, that you matter, and then take a deep breath and realize that it is time to let go. It is time to stop seeking from others what only you can give to yourself. Healing requires patience. It is not something that happens overnight. It is a process of sitting with your emotions, of feeling them fully without judgment, and of learning to nurture yourself through the storms of life. It is a choice to treat yourself with kindness when others are harsh. It is a choice to forgive yourself for your mistakes when others cannot. It is a choice to embrace your own value when the world seems determined to tell you that you are not enough. There will be days when it feels too heavy. There will be moments when the pain resurfaces, uninvited and raw. That is normal. Healing is not about eliminating pain entirely. It is about learning to walk with it, to sit with it, and to let it shape you into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate human being. It is about reclaiming the power that you have been giving to others for far too long. When you heal yourself, you stop depending on people for your happiness. You stop seeking someone else's approval to validate your worth. And in that freedom, in that independence, you discover a peace that is unshakable, a confidence that is undeniable, and a strength that no one can take away. Your heart becomes a sanctuary, a place where your soul can rest, your spirit can grow, and your life can flourish. So, do not wait for anyone else to make you feel whole. The power to heal, the power to love yourself, the power to rise above your pain has always been inside you. Begin there, begin now, and watch as your life transforms from within. We live in a world that constantly teaches us to seek validation from others. From childhood, we are conditioned to believe that our worth is determined by what people say about us, by their recognition, by their approval. A compliment lifts our spirits and a criticism can crush us. We become dependent on the fleeting judgments of others, giving them control over our emotions, our confidence, and even our happiness. But here is a truth that can set you free. Validation from others is temporary, but Worth is eternal. Think about the times when you were praised. How did it feel? It felt good, didn't it? But how long did it last? Minutes, hours, a day at most, and then the next challenge, the next rejection, or the next comment comes along, and suddenly that sense of worth disappears. That's the nature of external validation. It is unstable, unreliable, and ever-changing. If your happiness depends on it, your peace will always be fragile, at the mercy of others' opinions and moods. Self-worth, on the other hand, is different. It is a flame that burns within, untouched by the actions or words of anyone else. It is a knowledge, a deep understanding that you are valuable, not because someone said so, but because you were created with purpose and meaning. When you embrace your own self-worth, no one else's judgment can define you. The harsh words, the rejection, the criticism, they no longer have the power to shake your soul. You stand firm because you know your value, not because someone has told you that you're worthy, but because you have recognized it within yourself. The journey to this understanding is not always easy. It requires courage to let go of the habit of seeking validation. It requires strength to remind yourself daily that your worth is inherent, not conditional. It means making choices that honor your soul rather than trying to please others. It means saying no when your heart says no, even if others disapprove. It means pursuing what aligns with your values, not what earns you recognition or applause. When you cultivate self-worth, your life transforms. You become the master of your emotions, the captain of your ship, the guardian of your own peace. You no longer allow others to dictate how you feel or who you are. You begin to live authentically, making decisions that reflect your true self rather than a version of you designed to impress or please. And in that authenticity, you find freedom, joy, and confidence that no one can take away. Remember this, no external praise can replace the power of believing in yourself. No outside validation can heal the emptiness within. It is only when you embrace your own worth, when you stand firm in your own value, that you discover a peace that is unshakable and a strength that is undeniable. So today, make the choice. Stop giving others control over how you feel. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you are enough. Instead, look within, recognize your value, and build your life on the foundation of your own self-worth. That is true freedom. That is true power. That is true healing. To truly heal yourself and step out of the cycle of seeking validation, you must embrace the power of self-reflection. This is where the real transformation begins. Self-reflection is not just thinking about your life or your past. It is looking deeply into your own heart and soul with honesty, courage, and clarity. It is about asking the hard questions that most people avoid. Why am I constantly seeking approval? Why does it matter so much if someone notices me? Why do I allow the opinions of others to dictate my emotions? These questions may be uncomfortable, even painful, but they are necessary for growth. When you reflect deeply, you begin to notice patterns in your life. You see the moments when you have compromised your values just to gain acceptance. You see the times you have silenced your own voice because you feared disapproval. You recognize the relationships where your self-worth has been tied to someone else's mood or opinion. And this recognition, though sometimes painful, is the first step toward breaking free, because you cannot change what you do not see. You cannot heal what you do not acknowledge. Self-reflection also allows you to understand your triggers, the moments that make you feel insecure, inadequate, or unworthy. Perhaps it is a comment from a friend, a subtle dismissal from a loved one, or a social media post that makes you doubt yourself. By identifying these triggers, you gain awareness and control. Instead of reacting impulsively or seeking reassurance, you learn to pause, observe, and respond from a place of strength and self-understanding. Furthermore, self-reflection cultivates gratitude and perspective. When you take the time to examine your life honestly, you realize how far you have come. You see the obstacles you have overcome, the lessons you have learned, and the resilience you have shown. You begin to appreciate your own journey instead of comparing it constantly to others. You start to value your growth and progress rather than chasing external approval. The most beautiful part of self-reflection is that it leads to choice. Once you see the patterns, the triggers, and the moments where you have relied on external validation, you can decide to change. You can choose to stop waiting for someone to tell you that you are enough. You can choose to nurture yourself, to prioritize your peace, and to take actions that align with your true self. You can choose to heal even when no one else notices, even when the world seems indifferent. Remember, healing and self-reflection go hand in hand. Reflection allows you to see the roots of your pain. It allows you to confront the habits that have held you captive, and through that awareness, you reclaim your life. You step into your power, your independence, and your peace. You no longer live for the applause of others because you have discovered something far more powerful, the validation that comes from within. So, take time to reflect, sit in silence, ask the hard questions, observe your emotions, your reactions, your patterns, and in that sacred space of self-reflection, begin the work of healing, the work of liberation, the work of becoming the person you were always meant to be. When you begin the journey of healing yourself, something remarkable happens. Your transformation starts to inspire others. Healing is not only a personal journey, it is a ripple that spreads far beyond your own heart. You see, when we depend on external validation, our lives are often chaotic, reactive, and burdened with insecurity. But when we heal, we embody strength, peace, and authenticity. And people notice. Not because we are trying to impress them, but because our light shines naturally from a heart that has learned its own worth. Many of us underestimate the power of living authentically. We think that healing is selfish, that it is a private affair, and that no one else will benefit from it. But every time you stand firm in your worth, every time you choose your peace over approval, every time you refuse to compromise your values for someone else's acceptance, you are silently teaching the world a profound lesson. People begin to see that happiness does not come from being liked or praised. It comes from being whole, from being in harmony with yourself, from valuing your own journey. Your healing becomes a beacon for those still struggling with the chains of validation. Friends, family, even strangers may not say it aloud, but they are influenced by the strength they witness in you. They see that you no longer need constant reassurance, that criticism does not break you, and that you make choices rooted in your own values, not someone else's opinion. In this way, your personal growth becomes a source of inspiration. You cannot control how others react, but your example silently encourages them to reflect on their own lives, to seek their own peace, and to value themselves in the same way you have learned to value yourself. Healing yourself also strengthens your relationships. When you are no longer seeking validation, your connections with others become healthier. You give from a place of abundance rather than neediness. You love without attachment to reciprocation. You support without expectation, and those around you can finally interact with the real you, not a version shaped by fear, insecurity, or the desperate need for approval. This authenticity transforms not only your life but the lives of those around you. The truth is, every person you meet is fighting their own battles, carrying their own pain, and searching for validation in different ways. By healing yourself, you do not just lift your own burden, you light the way for others to find their strength. You show them that peace is possible, that self-worth is real, and that the approval of others, while nice to receive, is never necessary for a fulfilling life. Your journey becomes a living testament that true liberation comes from within. So, embrace your healing, embrace your growth, and let it shine outward. Your life becomes a quiet revolution, a powerful example of what is possible when you stop depending on others for validation and start nurturing your own heart. In healing yourself, you plant seeds of strength, hope, and courage in the hearts of those around you. And there is no greater impact than that. So today, my dear brothers and sisters, remember this: your peace, your worth, and your happiness do not depend on anyone else. Waiting for others to validate you will only leave you exhausted, disappointed, and empty. True healing, true liberation, and true joy come from within. It begins when you face your pain honestly, when you embrace your self-worth, when you reflect on your life with courage, and when you allow your own transformation to inspire the world around you. Your journey to healing is not selfish, it is essential. It is the key to reclaiming your life, your confidence, and your inner peace. When you stop seeking approval and start nurturing your own soul, you will discover a freedom that cannot be taken from you. You will find strength in yourself that you never knew existed, and in that strength you will not only change your own life, but you will quietly touch the lives of everyone around you. So start today. Begin the work of healing. Stand firm in your worth. Reflect on your heart. Let your transformation shine as an example for others. You are enough. You are worthy, and you have everything you need within yourself to rise above the need for external validation. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiration and guidance. Let's heal, grow, and rise together, one heart at a time.